Ryan Reynolds in big trouble with his statements. Today is the day Blake Lively is going to be deposed. So this is amazing evidence. She's contradicting herself when she said that Baldoni was a danger and he needs to be exposed. She never believed that.
Blake Lively is now really upset because her husband, Ryan Reynolds, talked too much and told everyone her private business. Now she's running around trying to fix the mess while Ryan is acting like Disney bosses didn't just threaten to end his whole career.
It wasn't that bad and she never wanted to go public with it. What made her go public with it? Well, she's saying that it was because of the smear campaign.
This whole mess looks way more shaky than their fake perfect couple image ever did. Ryan Reynolds thought he was helping his wife, but he just made everything worse. When Reynolds told everyone that Justin Baldoni was a bad guy, people thought he had real proof. But now that big statement is causing trouble for both of them.
The smear campaign was much worse than the actually alleged SH. Well, Megan Sui was saying that Blake Lively had told her this.
Here's the problem. Blake Lively had already said the situation wasn't that serious. In a quiet talk with a New York Times reporter named Megan Tui, Blake told the truth. She said the whole drama with Baldoni wasn't even the worst thing that happened to her in Hollywood.
That Blake Lively herself said that this wasn't really bad. And that put Ryan Reynolds in big trouble with his statement, something that I didn't think about here.
But when Ryan Reynolds got involved, he made it sound like Baldoni was some kind of dangerous person. That's not just careless, that's a big lie.
So this was information coming to her, straight to her, from Blake Lively.
All of a sudden, everyone started asking questions. Are Blake and Ryan even agreeing with each other? Or are they both trying to fix their problems in different ways? Because if they were working together, why would Blake say the incident wasn't that bad in private while Reynolds publicly destroyed Baldoni's career? That one lie made everyone look at them again.
And he said that he could say that because it was freedom of speech and he believed him to be a predator. Okay, how could he have believed that he was a predator when Blake Lively was saying that this wasn't bad at all?
Instead of stopping the drama, Ryan's big lie made even more people doubt what's really happening with their so-called perfect image.
Ryan Reynolds acted with reckless disregard of the truth. He intentionally exaggerated Blake Lively's experience because of course he knew that Justin Baldoni wasn't a predator.
But it didn't stop there. Behind the shiny Hollywood look, Blake Lively was already playing a dangerous game. While the world thought she was quietly dealing with the situation, people on the inside were seeing the real story. It was a full plan to destroy Justin Baldoni's reputation before he could even defend himself. And this wasn't just guessing. Dr. Romani, a well-known doctor who studies mean behavior, explained exactly how Lively's actions were like a classic mean girl attack.
And with this statement here in this interview, Justin Baldoni could actually prove that.
First, she went straight to the people close to her. She turned other actors, studio workers, and even reporters against Baldoni. She made them think he was dangerous and toxic, someone to stay away from. This happened way before any court papers were filed. And the way she did it was by using his own honest words against him. Baldoni had openly said that he wasn't perfect, that he made mistakes before, and that he was still learning how to treat women better. Instead of seeing that as him growing as a person, Blake used those honest words to make him look like a serial bad guy.
So this is amazing evidence. It's so interesting to me how this came up after the case was dismissed.
So now it's confirmed that the holes in Blake Lively's story got even bigger when Megan Tui's old interview came back up. Megan Tui is the same New York Times reporter who first helped make Blake's accusations against Justin Baldoni famous. But she accidentally flipped the whole story during an interview from December 2024. In that talk, Megan openly admitted that Blake Lively herself had said the so-called incident wasn't that bad, the same incident that became the main part of her court case.
Blake Lively said that she had experienced much worse in Hollywood than what actually happened on this set.
According to Megan, Blake was clear about one thing. What happened on the movie set wasn't even close to the worst thing she experienced in Hollywood. Word for word, Blake told Megan, "This was actually not the worst that I have experienced in Hollywood. I've actually experienced far worse bad behavior." That one sentence immediately made people ask a lot of questions.
That it wasn't really that bad. What was bad was what came after the smear campaign that she thinks that I was a part of, and a lot of people, all of you creators out there were part of this smear campaign against her. And of course, a lot of bots as well.
If this wasn't the worst thing that happened to her, then why did Blake choose this specific situation to start her first public court case for harassment? Why did she attack Justin Baldoni so hard while ignoring even worse situations from her past?
I think if she would withdraw her case today, she would look like a coward and a liar.
The confusing parts didn't stop there. During that same interview, Megan revealed that the situation on set was, according to Blake's own words, handled pretty well in the end. Blake had made her demands and asked for specific behavior changes, and according to Megan, Baldoni agreed. He didn't just agree with words, he signed a 17-point contract that said exactly how he needed to act from then on. That document became a secret agreement. Blake would come back to set, the movie would continue, and everything would look normal on the surface.
And she had asked Baldoni to sign this agreement, 17 points, that was 30 points, that he should not stop behaving like the way he did, and blah, blah, blah. She said that Baldoni's behavior improved with these new protections in place.
But underneath the surface, that 17-point behavior contract showed how much control Blake was using behind the scenes. The public only saw the carefully created victim story, perfectly planned interviews, chosen media coverage, and emotional sound bites, but no one talked about how Blake used her power on set to force Baldoni into doing what she wanted. He wasn't really given a choice. If he said no to her demands, the movie project could have fallen apart, Blake could have walked away, and Baldoni's reputation would have been destroyed even faster.
And Blake Lively approached Justin Baldoni and said that he'd need to stop behaving this way. He did stop behaving the way that she was accusing him of behaving, which we now know that he didn't really do, and he only signed these points because he wanted to get back to work.
What makes it worse is that this all happened months before the big court case started. Blake knew Baldoni signed that agreement because he was forced to, but she still took the situation public, building a court case designed to embarrass him even more. That timeline alone destroys the believability of her helpless victim story. It wasn't helplessness, it was a planned strategy, plain and simple.
Remember, Ryan Reynolds came out and called Justin Baldoni a predator. He put this word in front of it.
Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds, playing the protective husband role, jumped into the spotlight with bold statements that now look careless looking back.
Anyway, so he called him that out in public, and he admitted that he had called him that in his motion to dismiss against Justin Baldoni.
Reynolds publicly called Baldoni a predator, waving around that accusation like a shield for Blake's honor. But when the truth from Megan Two's interview came out, Reynolds' defense started looking more like a publicity stunt than real concern. Because how does a husband publicly accuse someone of being a predator while his own wife privately tells a journalist the incident wasn't even that bad? The lies in their stories didn't just confuse the public, they showed exactly how messy, calculated, and inconsistent this entire situation really is. Megan Two's interview made it impossible to ignore the gaps. On one hand, Blake made the incident seem less serious when speaking to trusted media people. On the other hand, her legal team, supported by Reynolds, painted the incident as terrible, traumatizing, and career-ending. And the details about the 17-point behavior contract only made people doubt more. Sources confirmed that this wasn't some casual agreement between co-workers. It was a formal written list of demands Baldoni had to accept just to keep working. That contract, signed under huge pressure, set strict rules for his behavior on set. With Blake Lively holding all the power, it was blackmail packaged as workplace protection. Behind the scenes, Blake created an image of empowerment and control. Yet in public, she leaned into vulnerability, fear, and anger. Those two versions of Blake, the one controlling set dynamics with legal documents and the one crying victim on magazine covers, couldn't exist together without people questioning it. Megan Two's slip-up during the December 2024 interview finally forced that questioning into the spotlight. As Megan casually repeated Blake's own words, the lies were undeniable. Blake's admission of far worse. Bad behavior in her past completely destroyed the urgency and seriousness her legal claims showed. It became clear that this wasn't about justice or healing. It was about control, story management, and image protection. The public started connecting the dots. If Blake could make the incident seem less serious to a respected reporter like Megan Twohy while privately pulling legal strings to silence Baldoni, what else was being exaggerated or hidden? Ryan Reynolds' exaggerated defense only added fuel to that fire. With every careless statement he made, the spotlight turned back on Blake, forcing people to question the very foundation of her claims. The bad results from Ryan Reynolds' careless accusations didn't stay in the gossip magazines, but hit Justin Baldoni's career in real time. It all goes back to the Deadpool and Wolverine movie premiere in July 2024. That night wasn't just another red carpet event for Reynolds. Behind the scenes, he was allegedly pulling strings that would sabotage Baldoni's professional future.
So according to Justin Baldoni, this statement is what made WME, his management company, fire him.
In July 2024, Ryan Reynolds reportedly called Justin Baldoni a predator at the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere, directly to top bosses at WME, one of Hollywood's biggest talent agencies. Within days, WME dropped Baldoni without any legal investigation or trial, and Baldoni blamed Reynolds' behind-the-scenes influence for destroying his career. Ari Emanuel, the former WME CEO, later admitted in a leaked conversation that he sided with Blake Lively and Reynolds not based on facts, but because of personal loyalty. Meanwhile, Blake was privately telling New York Times journalist Megan Twoh that the incident with Baldoni wasn't that bad. Despite major claims in her court case being dismissed by the judge, Blake didn't back off. Instead, she pushed harder. With more legal drama and PR spin, then came the Kevin Costner Horizon 2 case, where his accuser had real evidence, texts, timestamps, receipts, everything Blake never provided. The comparison showed how empty Blake's claims looked, as lies piled up, from her publicist demanding over $1 million to leaked texts that undermined her entire story. The public began to see the truth. This wasn't a fight for justice, it was a reputation game fueled by celebrity power and manipulation. What do you think? Did Ryan Reynolds destroy Justin Baldoni's career based on nothing but gossip? Should Blake Lively be held accountable for the lies in her story? Drop your thoughts below. Do you think Baldoni should keep fighting, or has the truth already been buried by Hollywood's power players? Let's talk about it.